It's not show friends, it's show business. Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. This is episode 258, and I am your host, the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. Before we get into the movie discussion tonight, let's go around and meet the fellow bros. Joining me, as always, we have our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. Ronnie, my neighbor has had his car parked in front of my mailbox for the past 3 days. So at what point am I legally allowed to poop on it?
But you're on it even before it was put in front of your mailbox. Everyone actually has that freedom. It's a basic right under the Constitution. Oh. Yeah.
I had no idea. Look at me.
Yeah. But anything else you want to do, you got to get the U.S. Postal Service police involved.
That's a separate police?
Yeah, they're actually the most important police.
Oh, they just do mail-related crimes.
Yeah, and it's a big problem. Mail fraud is real.
Yeah, I remember Newman talking about that on Seinfeld, so it makes total sense. Next, we go to the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Banner, we experienced a winter storm that was quite epic these past few days. Based on your scientific calculations, does this mean that Roland Emmerich was somehow involved?
I mean, I think he has to be, right?
Probably.
I mean,
actually, probably be the most impressive thing he's ever done.
What is his best movie? Like, he's. I feel like he's just like made a genre and.
Well, that's the thing. He's always stayed in his lane. I would.
Does
have
he
to
not
think
get?
So.
Yeah.
He did The Patriot.
Yeah. Here's the thing about him. His 90s movies are good. It's not like he became this cliche he has a decent filmography, and it's kind of surprising, and then what he kind of turned into.
Well, I'm trying to think what the equivalent would be of this in someone else's job, where it's they can do so much but they just consistently don't.
Well, I mean, again, is he not just good at what he does? I love his movies. They're pure entertainment, and my wife and I love to laugh. I was live texting you about Moonfall.
We had read later on that he had pitched the studio a trilogy for Moonfall.
I think we are getting a sequel.
It's talk about things this country just doesn't need. 3 Moonfalls.
I vehemently disagree.
All right, well, here on the Bro 4 Squad podcast, we start every episode off with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is chest day. Today, our chest day, we're doing we haven't done this in a while, but basically topic du jour, where each of the bros is going to bring something from the world of movies or entertainment that they want to discuss. And as we like to do, we have kept this a mystery from each other, so we don't know what the other bros have brought to the table to talk about. Banner, let's go to you first, because I have a feeling we might actually only have 2 topics tonight, because I think we have the same one just based on some pre-pod discussion. What is your chest day topic you want to discuss?
Mine is that guy, Alex Honnold, or Honnold, who climbed Taipei 101, that big-ass tower in Taipei, and I was enamored by it.
Sorry, real quick. I
don't
know about you guys. During the broadcast, when they were saying Taipei 101, I kept thinking they were saying Type A 101, like the personality that people have. And I was like, why do they keep bringing up that this guy's Type A?
Well, you got to be Type A to do it.
That's what I was like, duh. He is climbing
the.
Sorry, Brian.
No, you're good. I mean, what is our fascination with these people doing these incredible feats that are we watching hoping he succeeds, or are we watching hoping that maybe he would fall?
Yeah. Cycli, did you get to watch any of it?
I didn't watch it, but I have watched Free Solo. Well, not yeah. So I've watched some of his amazing accomplishments before.
I'll be honest, when Netflix was advertising this the week leading up to it, I was like, dude, shut up. I'm not gonna fucking watch that. And then my wife, I guess one of her friends was vehemently pushing people to watch it, so we did. And yeah, Brian, I had the same thought the whole time. Are we gross for watching this? Obviously, we don't want him to die, but the allure in tuning in is partly what if it happens? And I think inherently that is kind of disgusting. I did read that they had it set to a 10-second delay. So if something did happen and he fell, they would be able to cut away.
That's smart.
But you would still know, like,
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, we have to cut away for absolutely no reason. Everyone's fine here. How are you?
How are
Like,
you?
what?
Well, at one point, the feed, Banner, I don't know if yours did the same, but the feed like did glitch. And I was telling my wife, I was like, he's dead. He's dead.
Oh, I was on FaceTime with Thurman at that time. And I was like, oh my God, Thurman. Did it? Oh my God. But then it came back and he was fine. And I was like, false alarm.
But
like my heart dropped.
To my perspective is like, one, I think you guys are right. I don't think we want him to die, but I think it's the idea that if something did happen, you want to say you were watching it like that. Because the internet discourse or the conversations with your friends, it's all going to be like, did you see it? Oh man, yeah, I was watching. What was your initial reaction? We all kind of want to be part of that zeitgeist. But the other side of it is like when I was watching Free Solo, is what we don't see is like they're not going to put him on there if they think there's a chance. Like this guy trains, like when he did the Free Solo, like he had basically done it already. Yeah. And the kind of training they do. And I'm not saying he probably has some sort of death wish. You can't not do what they do. But it's not like he's someone who's just not. He knew he was going to be able to do it, in my opinion. Right.
He's not me who I'm going to go out and try and climb a fucking building. I clearly
which makes me think you're braver than him.
This one was weird too because I keep like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, buildings obviously aren't meant to be scaled by a human. So even if he found like the right path to traverse, it's still the element of like, not that mountains are, because they're obviously made in nature, but this, it's like it's steel. Like the odds of him slipping on it, or like, I don't know, he had a bunch of chalk on his hands, but I was like, dude, if he has like sweat on his palms or something, that could be it for this guy. And then, Cycling, I'm glad we have you on because, like, what does the contract look like that Netflix and him write up for him to do this?
It's funny. Basically, there's going to be massive liability waivers, right? Like, it's like you going to, a theme park. But, like, I mean, the only thing that would come into question is, like, waivers only go so far legally. And now, I mean, this is American law versus others, but essentially, he's going to have to waive all rights. Netflix isn't going to make indemnification, all that kind of stuff. They're not going to have any risk. But the only thing you can prove that, like, it would be some sort of negligence or gross negligence on behalf of, like, Netflix, like, where they purposely put, like, grease on one of the windows just to see, like, yeah, like, right, like, so for the most part, legally, I mean, yeah, it would just basically like waivers. Whenever you sign a waiver, keep in mind it's not foolproof.
The Disney
it's
Plus
not it's not an absolute thing that gets you out of any problems, but multiple things. It causes you to probably assume you don't have any rights, so you don't take initiative. But also at the same, it causes roadblocks. But Netflix isn't going to put a guy in harm's way if they don't think he can do it. It feels more raw than it is. The amount of preparation, he's probably already done that scale a couple of times, maybe a few times with like rope. But at the end of the day, Netflix was pretty damn sure that they were going to be okay.
I would not stand on the top like he did at the end. No fucking way.
Yeah, he was audibly saying, because I could like check in with him at a few of the intervals, how exhausted and tired he was, and that's where I was getting more concerned. I was like, if he just loses grip because he's a little bit fatigued, or like he can't pull himself up like he normally can when he's like training or at full strength, like that could be it. You make a mistake that high, and that's the last one you make. Yep.
I was curious how they were going to get him down. Like if he was going to have to like reclimb that rope thing.
He just took the elevator, right? That's what happened. He like climbed down.
Well, they put a harness on him, and then he like rappelled down to the last or the top level or whatever, and then took the elevator down.
Last thing I'll say, the one thing I thought was a little bit fucked up and like shouldn't have been allowed, as he's climbing it, they have a ton of people inside the building, like watching him, visible to him, and like waving at him, distracting him. Like, you got to clear that thing out if you're going to let this guy climb all the way up. Like, what was, I mean, they probably would have been convicted of manslaughter, but like if he's climbing and someone like pounds on the window and it scares him and he falls, like, cycling, was that murder?
That was one of my questions, was he aware of that? Was that involved in the liability waiver between not just Netflix and him, but the building and the building owners and the like all of that.
I
Because
believe it's a public building, is what they said.
I mean, if it's a public building, some people might have been working, but just because it's public doesn't mean you don't close it off.
Right.
I would have
mean,
loved to have been the one guy who was just working hard and be like, what the hell's happening out there?
Or like the guy who's like washing the windows and now they're slick and he falls. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just doing my job, man.
I just think that it would be shocking to me if he wasn't aware of that and he didn't give permission. Like, I'm not saying it's not possible. Mistakes could always be made, and I mean, humans are flawed. But like, again, the risk taking by every party involved, including the property owners, including all of that, is just like, it's too high for not every avenue to have been approved. I would at least hope the due diligence was there.
100%. So this was called Skyscraper Live. Do we know? I mean, this guy is not like a gimmick. Like, he is a legitimate free solo climber and takes it very, very seriously. So I don't think he'll do something like this again unless he has like another goal or something that he wants to do. But do we know, does Netflix, like, I'm assuming they want to keep this momentum going. Is there any other like stunt show, like outside of like David Blaine, that you guys have heard that they're planning or like could plan to capitalize on anything?
But I'll be there to watch it. I mean, I think that they're doing with kind of some of their live sports stuff. They had those big fights, the Tyson fight with what's that YouTuber kid's name?
Jake Paul.
And then they had the one not too long ago with Jake Paul and that actual professional world champion guy who broke his jaw in 3 places.
It was awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, these live events, I think that they're starting to kind of figure out that you don't have to. They're figuring out how to stream just the live events, and you don't have to stream something 24/7.
Which haven't
like a live channel.
Haven't they had like a bad track record of these live streams crashing?
Yeah.
And I think the last 2 have made it, at least in my experience watching both of them, they made it through pretty well.
Yeah, this one, except for that glitch, which maybe was intentional for us to think he died, was fine.
Yeah, that didn't get me. It didn't crash. It was like it was a glitch, like you said.
Yeah. All right, I thought
I do wonder again that, like, if Netflix does more of this stuff again, they're not. The question is about like the risk, and for someone like Alex, like I have to wonder if it's like heroin. Like, is he gonna have a problem not being able to do the next challenge?
Yeah.
Like, what is that like? Like being like, I need something to.
It's
like
when
he's like, well, I've done it.
come
Am I
back from
done?
space, right? And they're like, say that they kind of have that problem.
This is it. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not trying to allude it to heroin, but that's what causes the addiction. Is just like, I have to chase that high, and I'm not saying that something bad is going to happen with him, but like, I do wonder what his next, like, for him. Yeah, and maybe Netflix is going to push. I mean, this was the 11th highest building on the earth. Maybe.
Oh God! So not even in the top 10. Fuck.
Yeah. What a joke.
Well, no. I mean, like, now he's going to be like hunting one of the top 10 buildings.
Probably. Yeah. He wasn't the first to do this. At least that I think.
Was or wasn't?
Was not. I believe one other person had done this skyscraper before.
Which, like, that's wild.
How many? Yeah. I didn't realize that there was more than one person that has a desire to climb the side of a building.
Humans are crazy, man.
Takes me 2 tries to get off the couch these days. So what I'm saying,
honestly, just stay in the couch. Don't even do it.
It's a genius idea. Let's bring Netflix out here to watch me stay on the couch.
For how long?
Yeah. Challenge accepted.
It's been 18 days. The bed sores are getting worse. But Hornacek has not moved.
His ass looks like the feet from the Grandpa and Willy Wonka. All right. Anything else about Skyscraper Live?
No, I just thought it was incredibly wild that this, 1, was a thing, 2, they streamed it live, and 3, how into it I actually was once I turned it on.
Yeah, that morning, if you had asked me if I'm going to watch it, I would have been offended. And then it was appointment television for me. I'm a sucker for trends. All right, Cycly, what about you? What's your chest day?
All right, so we are in the beginning of 2026, and we're all movie lovers, which typically this time of year is award show season. Golden Globes just happened a couple weeks ago. We got the Oscars coming up in a few weeks. And I kind of
Oscars around then too.
Yeah, bro, the most important of the award shows, of course. Like, so when I grew up, the Oscars was almost as big as the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
I remember like we would have our like list, we would do predictions, like it was such a big thing. And obviously award shows in general, not just the Oscars, just don't feel like as important as they used to. Obviously, they've taken a massive hit in ratings. There's been controversies on hosts and things like that. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on why, right? Like, what are the reasons that we're seeing just like, because I used to love the Oscars, the Golden Globes. They were just fun. It was kind of fun to like humanize your heroes, watch them, like find your favorite movies and cheer for it. Now, I don't want to like. There's a lot of commentary and opinions online. They'll be like, "Oh, it got woke. Oh, it got there's politics in the Oscars since the '60s and '70s. So like that is not a real argument. Yeah, like and it's not. We can blame. I want to blame. Like I want to talk about real reasons like that. Like this is happening. Like people can blame one or two things. They're like, okay, Hollywood's this or that, but people still love movies. People still love shows. What's happened to award shows? What is it about? Is it about the award shows? Is it about everything else? I don't know what you guys are thoughts on it. And clearly, I think you guys used to enjoy them too.
Oh yeah, Brian, you go first.
I think it's twofold. I think that sometimes the winners embellish and use their platform in a way that not everybody agrees with, and so they decide to trash that person / trash the award show altogether. But I also think that a lot of the movies that are up, especially for the big awards, they're just not as accessible, right? I'm not going to go to the theaters and watch this movie now. It's not like we go to the theaters excited to watch this movie, and then it also happens to be nominated for an Oscar. What we're seeing now are movies that come out from November to December, and they're the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, if I remember right, when I was a kid, like similar to what Cycly was describing, when the Oscars was like appointment television, when the Oscars would like come around, like even the ones that I wasn't like of age to see, I had either seen them or was like very well aware of them, like all of the Best Picture nominees. And now I think streaming is partly to do with it, but also just like the gap has gotten so wide between the mainstream, like more accessible movies that people go see in theaters and what the Oscars are looking for and recognizing. I think a large part, if not the sole reason, is because of the age and demographics of the Academy. Like that's the problem. Like the award show is basically like, I think of an analogy to put this that I can like tie into something really stupid, but it's like for like the people who quote unquote know what they're talking about, and then all of us simpletons, like the movies that we're going to watch on a regular basis, are like laughed at by them. And I actually think there was a poll that came out a few years ago, maybe even last year, where the members of the Academy hadn't even seen most of the movies that were even nominated for Best Picture. So when stuff like that gets leaked, it just like inherently makes the entire award show seem like a farce, or just like what's the point? And I don't really know if there was like a point, like a jumping off point, but for some reason in my head, it was, I don't think it won Best Picture, but all the stuff that The Artist won that one year. And then what was that other black and white film that was up for a bunch of awards? But when stuff like that gets nominated, I'm just like, all right, this is lost to me. This is now art house stuff that I'm not smart enough to comprehend. It would be like watching an award show for like sewing. Like I don't know anything about it. I don't watch it. So like, why would I be engaged in it? It's not.
How do you guys feel about like, but they, I will say, like, I'm not trying to defend, I'm just trying to create conversation about it. Like they did try to counteract a lot of what you guys are saying by when we grew up, best movie nomination was like 5 movies.
Yeah.
Now it's like 12. Now they have like box office achievement. Like they are trying, or it seems like, again, because they are recognizing that just people don't care anymore.
Kind of.
So how do you guys feel about that?
The box office achievement and the Blockbuster Film Award that they announced 4 or 5 years ago, that got me really excited. I was like, okay, there'll at least be like an award that will be like movies that I saw and that we saw. And then the first time that they actually gave that award, which I think was last year, it was announced during the commercial break.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a slap in the face. Like, don't even fucking do it if that's what you're going to do. Like, you're not really doing it. Like, that's when they announce like assistant to sound mixing. So like, did they just say that like initially because they thought it would get people more interested in the Oscars even before they did it? Because they didn't really do it. It was like kind of a bullshit thing. I almost think there should just be a whole separate movie awards for like the fun movies in this one, and then maybe I could latch onto it a little more because I would at least have an excuse to say why my movies aren't represented. Because I kind of get it from a filmmaking perspective. Like, no, Avengers Doomsday is not going to win Best Picture, but it's probably going to be the most fun I have in a movie next year. So
Yeah,
it's kind of hard for me to like root for all the Oscar films when I know that they're just like basically playing in a separate league.
Somehow that was just a pitch to listen to the Broskers.
right. Because we don't do any of that. Everything you don't like about those horror shows, we do. So
And the presenters we
don't-
get, it's a big
Oh,
fucking
man.
deal.
I know they're the same every year, but don't worry about
Yeah,
it. They're
they
so
are.
bad.
It's our annual.
Kermit, for instance.
He's coming back, I think.
I always do feel like the one award show I never got was like the Grammys because music seems so subjective more than anything.
Yeah.
I understand. That's why I always like the Oscars and Golden Globes because like I think while they're still subjective, you can objectively say what is good acting and what is bad acting, right? Like you can say like, yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood is just insane, right? Like you're crazy if you think it's bad. So it's like I get to a point, but it's just really interesting how fast it's kind of fallen. And I don't know if there's any, and even based on what you guys are saying, if there's any coming back. Like they've tried having young and hip hosts. They've tried, like I said, they've added more categories. It's just, is it also that we, back in the day, there just wasn't as much and people went and saw more movies and like now we have 1,000 other things going on. We have every channel known to man. We have every streaming service known to man. It's like, I don't know. It makes me sad in a way as a movie lover, but like, yeah, it's just not the same.
The Oscars used to be awesome. I do remember. I don't know if it was the COVID year or what, but there was talk of whenever they didn't have a host, that they were like, dude, I think this show actually works better without one.
Yeah.
I don't even remember exactly how it ran, but that was a discussion for a little while.
I mean, you don't need one. You just need MCs to come out every so often, and
the presenters.
Yeah, and I should have prefaced this. This is one of the reasons I brought this up was I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Oscars is officially moving to YouTube next year, or not next year, maybe in 3 years, 2029, I think. And I'm like, that's going to kill it even more. Now I have to go to I'm not saying like it's still as accessible, but like I don't even know if that's the answer.
Yeah.
But
I did not see that. That's kind of
they're officially exclusively moving to YouTube. Yeah.
Not even YouTube TV, but just like YouTube.
I think it's going to be like one of the just like you guys talking about live Skyscraper live. Now we can just go to YouTube and watch the Oscars live.
That's wild because like YouTube is free. Like Netflix, I at least have a subscription to, right? Or am I going to have to get a subscription to YouTube?
Who knows? Yeah.
They'll find some way to get our money, whether it's like ads embedded in
they'll
every
do ads.
2 seconds, or like you just have to pay for that stream. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like them abandoning broadcast TV just seems like they're on their final gasp. I don't know if it will fully ever die, but it might just be a thing that they just start announcing.
I'm sure this is like what you've been alluding to the entire time, but like I have not been keeping up with the ratings the past few years. Has it been at a steady decline, or I feel like there was 1 year, at least in the last half decade, where there was an uptick in viewership.
I think they've done okay. I mean, they're still making they had 19.7 million viewers last year. So that's still great, like compared to like, anything else. Yeah. But yeah, it's like here, for instance, all right, I have some stats for you. 2014, 43 million. 2015, 36, wow. 2016, 34. And all of a sudden, so yeah, you get 2017, 32 million. Oh, that's a good question. When was the slap? 2018, 26 million, 2019, 29 million, 2020, 23 million, then 2021, 10, 2022, 16, 2023, 18, 2024, 19, last year 18.
Jeez.
So
basically,
I mean, we're talking about a
downturn.
half.
Yeah, that's bad. But if that was a stock,
I mean,
you would have
even
had
the
to dump that thing long
Barbenheimer.
ago.
Now, but the thing is, I will still say that's still
2022 is the slap.
so that was 16 million, and they got a little bump the next year. But that's still better than anything else on TV outside of like the Super Bowl. Like even the College Football Championship hits like 15 million. So it's still decent TV, but like
Live
the
TV is
trajectory
pretty
there
variable.
and the percentage of drops, it's pretty wild to be viewing from our perspective live. And somebody had it here in 57 million in 1998.
Jeez.
That's one. Is part of that also because back in the day you only had so much that you could watch on TV, right? Now,
that's what I think. I think it
Gotta
was.
be part
now
of it.
we have you can literally watch anything at any point to watch.
Another thing too, and I know like the Super Bowl is going to be a 4-hour affair, but I do think the event has gotten way too long. If I remember the last time I looked, it was 3 hours.
Yeah, they're fighting that too, I think. Yeah.
I mean, that's rough. Especially when there's really like
too,
4 awards people care about.
Yeah, Banner, I think you're absolutely right. There's definitely more for us to do at home. There's more things going on, more distractions. I also, maybe I can't speak. Horns, you're a teacher, so maybe you can talk about your students. When we were in middle school, all there was to
care.
go to movies. Right. That we did because there was nothing else we could do. We didn't have cell phones. We got dropped off at the movies. I wonder if how much that has to do with things. Like it's do they have that love that we do?
Got to be part of it. I mean, the attention span. This is not me shitting on the youth at all. This is just an objective fact. Their attention spans are much less. So, like saying, "Hey, let's go sit down for an hour and 50 minutes and watch a movie," like is not something that interests them. And then on top of that, the length of an award show where most of the films are either over their like demographic age range or just movies that it's like, what the fuck is this? It's a tough sell, man. And I think that is one.
See the clips online immediately.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, it's unlike a sporting event where it's like, let me just watch the highlights of the Oscars and see who won what awards, and that'll do it for me. Like at the end of the night, instead of sitting through all the bullshit in between and the presenters and everything. It's tough. They've been trying to fix it for years. I don't know if they've really done much, but I know they've been at least like aware that there's a problem. But it's bad. If that's how much the ratings have been declining steadily, I mean, like we're to the point now where it's like, is it even, like you said, it's leaving network TV. So I wonder how much YouTube paid to get it.
Honestly, probably pennies on the dollar
Yeah,
compared to like what ABC's been doing.
Maybe they'll change it a lot and try to rehabilitate it, but I think the Academy is like a huge part of the problem. It's just look at the average age of the voter in the Academy, and they're basically like dead, all of them.
Yeah, we don't respect it as much, like you said at the very beginning. But yeah, that was just something I wanted to bring up. I was like, we're in award season and no one's talking about it.
Well, the Broskers are here to fill the void, so tune into that sometime late February, early March. It will also be on YouTube.
That's true.
Among others. So there you go.
Thanks, YouTube.
Competitors.
All right. Anything else on Oscars or Skyscraper Live? Ready to go to Protein Shake?
I could go to a protein shake.
All right. Good enough for me.
I'll do one.
All right. Our Protein Shake is the second part of our show. We go around and talk about what is in our cup, also known as what have we watched lately. Before I turn it over to Cycly, let me do a few little shameless promotion here for two things that are up on our channel now that I would love for you guys to go check out. We have movie commentary tracks on the original Shrek, done by Nate Thurmond and myself, and Snow Day, which the Nickelodeon classic, which Brian Banner and I did last week in anticipation of this winter snowstorm that just hit most of the country. So go check those out. They're basically just audio tracks to watch the movie along with us. Shrek is streaming on Peacock and Snow Day is on Paramount Plus. Would love to watch the films with you. All right, Cycly, what's in your cup? What have you seen lately?
Well, I just, right before we started this pod, finished the first episode of Shrinking. So did you watch it?
No, it came out too late last night for us, but it's on my immediate to-do list. Maybe even after this recording. Did you
Well,
like
then
it?
I won't. Yeah, it's very shrinking. It's great. It's always good. Like I don't want to give anything away, so I'll save the talking points for next week. But yeah, it was. One I will say is, after going through like Stranger Things and all these other shows, it's like the modern age of TV. It's nice to have a show that actually comes on once a year. Back how TV should be. It's like, hey, we have this number of episodes and it's going to be every year. All of a sudden now shows are just like every 4 years, and you're like, okay, well, the characters are these actors are not even, they don't even look like what they're supposed to anymore. You just takes you out of it. You're not even excited about it. I was like almost pleasantly shocked when they said they announced Shrinking season 3. Like, I was like, oh, it's already coming out. I was like, not even.
Well, and they've already announced the
Not even
next
on your
season,
radar.
so I'm assuming that'll be on track to come out next year as
Yeah.
well.
So, I mean, Shrinking is one of those shows, like, yeah, if you really break it down too much, you can like easily criticize or kind of call it out in certain ways. But it's just like, it's one of those shows again that I've talked about. Bill Lawrence, who did Ted Lasso, Scrubs, like the humor and the ability to go from sad to happy to emotional, like all of that hits so fast is just nothing but impressive. So like, yeah, it's not maybe my favorite show that he's ever done, but like to me, it's must-see TV based on the cast, based on the acting, the writing. It's so good to have back. So I'm excited for you to watch it.
Yeah, and just like those other two shows, like you said, like when he does go to the emotional well, man, he goes to it hard and it's effective.
Yeah.
He doesn't overdo it, I don't think.
No, he plays that tune like so well. It's like so hard to do.
Yeah.
And people have tried and can't do it.
This I'm glad to know this isn't the last season going in, but I have a theory on something big that maybe we'll talk off pod or next week. It's gonna happen on the show.
There's one thing in this episode that I don't think, it's not a big deal for people watching the episode. It's very minor, but you and I, as How I Met Your Mother fans, I immediately was like, there's a specific reason a specific thing is said or called out.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I'll pick up on that like immediately.
I'm like, only How I Met Your Mother fans. Like, that is for How I Met Your Mother. It has to be.
It's awesome. Is Jason Segel one of the writers? I know he writes a ton of stuff.
Yes, I believe so. I mean, Brett Goldstein.
I know
and
Goldstein
Bill Lawrence.
is, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and Bill Lawrence, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think they're all creators, listed as creators too.
God, that's a fucking murderer's row of a writer's room.
Yeah, and we've said this before, but it's just nice to see Jason Segel have his comeback. It's been a few years of the comeback, but like, it's just nice.
Yeah, he's one of like he's like kind of not in like an obnoxious way, but he's kind of anti-Hollywood, which is sort of what I dig about him.
Yeah,
he's one of those people I legitimately think likes acting and writing, but doesn't like all the other bullshit that kind of comes with.
Mm-hmm. He just needs a different challenge, which is, again, and I still think the highlight of the show is Harrison Ford, just getting to see him. I don't know. I think he's having the time of his life, getting to do something different.
100%. The like back 9 of his career where he's just said like, you know what, I'm gonna have fun and just do. He's not gonna say no to much these days. He did the Yellowstone spinoff. He played Red Hulk. He's been in Shrinking. He did another Indiana Jones. He came back for Star Wars. It's like the guy wants to go out on a high note, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
He is not disappointing.
No.
No.
Banner, what's in your cup? What have you seen lately?
I, for the first time, watched From Russia with Love, James Bond movie. They all got dropped on Netflix, I don't know, a few days ago, a week ago, maybe, whatever. So I've been ripping through some of those, and this is fantastic. Sean Connery, guys, I mean, the guy.
He's the Bond dude. I mean, yeah. I don't know who would really argue that, but he is.
This was a fantastic movie. What I love about these old James Bond movies is they get right into it. There's not a bunch of fluff at the beginning. Like within the first 5 minutes, he's got his mission and boom, he's off to the races. And this has some really great old school hand-to-hand combat, awesome practical effects at the end, some big ones. Highly recommended. I know you guys are working through the James Bond movies as well, but
yeah, I just watched Dr. No, and I'm pumped for this because I wrote about it in a squad blog, so I won't say too much about it. But yeah, I was shocked at how much James Bond got his hands dirty in this, because in my mind, for some reason, remembering what I had in my memory banks about Connery was he was more just like the sit at the table, smoke, play cards, and then bang a chick James Bond. But in Dr. No, and it sounds like in Russia with Love, like he's out there in the shit. Like he's not just sitting up in an ivory tower being cool. I mean, he is, but that's not exclusively what he's doing.
Yeah,
I think that's what makes him the best Bond, is he does all of it. Whereas, like, I mean, we can. Well, I know we're going to get into James Bond more here. That now that Netflix has released all of them, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I feel like we're going to all go through the ebbs and flows, ups and downs of like what this franchise is.
Yeah, because there 25 Bonds, not counting the Casino Royale like spoof movie that came out. Like
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it like of all franchises, it has, mainly because so many actors have played him, but man, it has some high highs and low lows from what I've heard anecdotally and what I remember. Even within like the same, like just take Pierce Brosnan's Bond alone. Like, my God, that's a fucking roller coaster ride.
Yeah. I think the fun part for us is how many people were like, especially now that we've all tasked ourselves to watch in a very short time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, people like my dad who grew up with these films, like watched it over eras, like there, it's going to be very interesting to see like where we feel like the drop offs were, where they came back, like, what were the goods and bads. Like we just finished Dr. No 2, and it was just like, one, that movie is so low budget. Like, I mean, obviously it's a 60s movie, but like compared to Russia with Love, I'm pretty sure they like more than double or tripled the budget. Like no one knew how it was going to do.
Oh yeah, for sure. You could tell, especially at the end with some of the effects, some of the practical sets that they have. You could tell that they got a little bit of money.
My wife, Robin Sparkles, had no idea. She was like, "Wait a second, all of this looks like Austin Powers. That looks like the exact set." And I was like, "Look at what Dr. No is wearing." I was like,
yeah.
She knew that Austin Powers was mocking us, but she was like, I didn't know to that detail, like how good they did with Austin Powers.
It really is, because like the minutia, like there's stuff in Austin Powers that mimics it, that isn't even it's not even parodying it. It's just like a love letter. It's like, we love the way this shit looks. We're just gonna make it look like this. But Dr. Evil's base really does look like Dr. No's base.
The outfits, the
labeling of
facial
everything.
Guard, yeah.
And then when Bond do like that thing getting scrubbed, it reminded me of when Austin was unfrozen.
Has to pee for like an hour. Banner, would you say you like From Russia with Love more than Dr. No?
I did.
Interesting.
I did.
And I think Thunderball is next, or no, Goldenfinger is next, and then Thunderball. If I recall, my dad's favorite was Thunderball.
Yeah, Goldfinger's next. So I'll hop on that probably tonight.
Yeah, I'll work through these pretty quick, and I guess we'll tease pretty soon what we will be doing with these on the pod coming up in about a month and a half ish.
Pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Anything else on From Russia with Love?
No, I recommend.
Okay, let me talk about these two things really fast. I saw the movie Eternity with Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen. Have you guys heard of this? Seen this?
Heard of it, haven't seen it.
Oh, yes, I know about it, but no, I haven't seen it yet.
So, man, Miles Teller is he's a grab bag. You never know what you're going to get. Never know, number one, what kind of effort level you're going to get from the guy. He's like that athlete where it's like he might hustle tonight, he might not. But he's kind of all over the place. This was him taking it pretty seriously, and I appreciate it. I would call this maybe if you had to put it in one genre, I would probably say comedy. But the subject matter, like you could describe this to someone and they'd be like, "Oh, that actually sounds kind of dark." It focuses on, I don't want to say purgatory necessarily, but the afterlife where people are awaiting where they're going to spend eternity for. And the point of it is, there are all these different worlds, almost like theme parks, that you get to sample and basically be like pitched on. And then you pick one where you'll spend the rest of your afterlife after you die. And Miles Teller plays an 80-year-old man who he doesn't, but he's an 80-year-old man who dies, and when you go to eternity to await where you're going to spend the rest of your afterlife, it sends you to the time in your life when you were happiest. So most people are usually like mid to late 30s or something like that. So Miles Teller is this old guy there, and he is waiting for his wife, Elizabeth Olsen, who passes away a few weeks later. However, the problem is Elizabeth Olsen was in her life also married 60 years prior to her death, really briefly, to another guy who has been waiting in eternity for her. So the whole movie is Miles Teller, who was her husband for like 55 years, and her husband who died in World War II, I believe. Maybe no, it's the Korean War, sorry, who is also there waiting for her, and they're both kind of wooing her to go and spend eternity with them.
Interesting.
So it's kind of serious in a lot of moments.
Concept.
Yeah, it's a cool concept. It's sad at some moments. It really makes you, and Cycling, I always do this, but like, it really makes you think about like your mortality. Like, man, life is kind of fleeting, and like, just appreciate the moments that you have. And I really liked the ending. My wife really liked the ending, but it's one of those concepts where like, even though it probably wasn't trying to do this, it really stuck with me afterwards. I'm talking about like, I would lie awake in bed, like thinking, damn, if I was in eternity, like what world would I choose? And when you see some of the options, there's some pretty funny ones. Like there's women's world where no men are there ever. But the funny thing is when Elizabeth Olsen walks by it, it says it's sold out. So everyone has wanted to go there. There's 80s world. There's like punk rock world. Some cool ones.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I would recommend Eternity. I think there's something there. Yeah, but it probably depends on how much of a Miles Teller fan you are. Elizabeth Olsen, though, I mean, how can you not like her?
Big fan of her.
Yeah.
Was it a controversial ending? Like, could it have gone wrong for a lot of people?
Well, the way that the movie sets it up is like Miles Teller, and I can't remember the name of the other guy, but ironically, the rumor is he just got cast as the new James Bond. Look it up.
Call it a segue, folks.
Yeah. Callum Turner, who supposedly got in trouble because he leaked that he had been cast as James Bond to like friends. But Cycling, the way it sets it up is you know that no matter who she picks, they make you like both of the guys. So you're like, dude, I'm going to feel bad for one of these dudes regardless.
Yeah, I wondered. I had a guess when I saw the trailer of how it ended, but I won't say anything here.
It's not like a what the fuck like Saw twist at the end, but I did not expect the end. I was a little bit surprised by the ending in a good way, I think.
It's always refreshing.
Yeah. You know what? That's all I'm gonna talk about. You guys have anything else? Cycling, Banner.
Banner, did you finish Stranger Things?
No.
Still no? Okay, then
By choice or just time?
Kind of both. It's just at this point, it just sounds like such a daunting task.
Wow.
Yeah. But that just goes to any TV show. Like I've been having a real hard time getting into any kind of series.
Well, in this one, every episode is literally an hour and a half, right?
Yeah.
The last one's over 2 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah, that is wild to me.
That's like the one season's longer than all 3 Lord of the Rings. I'm like, what are we doing here?
And
guys?
Cycling watches the extended Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well, that's the only way. That's the only way to watch Lord of the Rings. So
it's true. Yeah, Stranger Things.
Well,
left polarizing taste in people's mouths.
Like I'll just really quickly be like, yeah, way too long of a wait. Not like it was one of those shows that the more you think about, the more you're like, that kind of sucked. I mean, I had fun. It was entertaining, but I was like, okay, we didn't.
Now,
this show should have never become that, is all I'm going to say.
Was it, when you say way too long of a wait, was it that it had just totally lost momentum? Or by the time it came back, you were like, this thing is a shell of what it was? Both because the actors are too old? Yeah.
Absolutely both. Like the 5th season, I know I talked about it a little bit on the pod. It doesn't even make sense. Like the way the 4th season ended, it feels like it's building to something specific. Fine, it took 4 years. I get it, COVID happened or whatever. Like, so yeah, fine. Even if I give them grace for how long it took to get there, it's just like the plot doesn't even feel like where they should have gone. It like kind of dilutes exactly what happened in season 4. Most of the episodes felt repetitive. Like I said, I won't go through it too much. I know one eventually more people will finish it but feel the same way I did. But yeah, there was nothing else going on around Christmas time. So
I have not heard a good thing about it. I'll be honest.
it wasn't it wasn't like the last season of Game of Thrones that like absolutely shits on the entire thing. It wasn't like Last Jedi that shits on like the genre. It's like it just wasn't worth the wait. You know, like it's just like, okay, this didn't do anything it should have. Yeah, the other thing I'll mention really quickly is Horns, you'll love this. I went on my first cruise ever last week. We went with some friends. I don't know that cruises are necessarily for me. It's a good activity to do when you're with friends, especially friends with kids, because there's constant entertainment. So we had fun. But I was just endlessly making Titanic quotes throughout the entire time. Like, especially with texting you and my sister and all sorts of things. So when I got home the other day, I watched Titanic. I was accused of being very weird by my wife. Like, she's like, you are a strange person. But I watched Titanic because I was like, hey, I was on a boat for a week.
If you can remember, like, what was the context and then what was one of the quotes that you said from Titanic?
So I literally had told my sister all week, I was like, I have a quote, because I was on the biggest ship in the world, the Icon of the Seas. Biggest ship in the world, just like Titanic. And I was like, hey, all week, I'm going to text you. I have a specific quote from the movie. And she was trying to guess what quote it was going to be. Because my sister loves Titanic as much as I do. And so I pull up to the boat in Miami. I take a picture of it. And this is Rose in the movie. She gets out of the car. She goes, I don't see what all the fuss is about. It doesn't look any bigger than the Mauritania. And Billy Zane goes, you can be blasé about some things, Rose, but not about Titanic. But so my sister she immediately texted, like, you can't be blasé about the Icon of the Seas.
Yeah, I think that's actually like Notre Dame has to play like a champion today banner. I think when you step on the boat, that's the banner and you slap it.
That's what you got to slap.
Yeah.
That's what you got to slap. Yeah. So but that was the start of many, many Titanic quotes.
Were there people you with appreciating them or understanding that what they were?
No, everyone hated them. Everyone told me to shut up.
Probably just fueled you even more.
But I didn't. My wife did take a video of me at the very back of the ship doing the Rose. Like, she was looking at the propellers.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of them.
Did you go below deck and there was a bunch of like Irish folk dancing happening?
There was, yes. And I asked Robin Sparkles, well, you got to find a car to bang in.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're all I actually totally like. Obviously, that scene is kind of iconic, but I didn't even put in my head that Titanic was also a ferry. I guess at that point.
Yeah. There's a big difference. They were actually using it for transport, whereas this boat is just the entertainment itself.
Still have never been on a cruise.
I mean, it was fine. I did win Price is Right. That is all that matters. So. But Titanic, great movie. Sorry, that was the whole point. I rewatched Titanic, guys.
Check out our movie commentary on Titanic.
In defense of a villain.
And our in defense of a villain of a cow.
Worth all 3 hours and 15 minutes, guys. I promise.
Yeah, that was one of, like, honestly, 3 hours, 15 minutes on that flew by.
It did.
Felt like 10 minutes. All right. Anything else in anyone's protein shake?
Jeff, you want to talk about the rip?
Sure. Let's do it.
What you think?
Loved it.
Absolutely loved it.
First movie in 2026 nominated for next year's Oscars for Best Action Movie.
Wow.
You could almost throw it into Best Movie at this point.
I'm debating it.
Yeah. I mean, it's early enough in the season. I'd give it the nod.
Maybe I'm just like a child, but did not see a lot of the twist coming and really felt the tension. Like scenes where, you know, shit is about to hit the fan. I was like up on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if I was naive. Like, looking back, some of the twists I feel like I should have been able to figure out. And I didn't at all.
Also love how it takes place outside of like the epilogue or the prologue, excuse me, basically in like real time, almost in one
More
night,
or less, yeah.
which is really cool. And I thought I was like over Affleck and Damon on screen together, and then I see this, and
They're
I'm
like Texas. They're back, baby.
I know they are back, and Cycli's gonna hate to hear that Texas analogy, but yeah, they're really fucking good together on screen. Really, really good. I don't think Ben Affleck, he would probably even admit this too. He doesn't have much range, especially at this stage in his career. He has to play like the angry guy who's like life has just beaten him down. But that's what this character is, man. And so he's pretty well cast in it. And then Damon is great too because he is kind of he's obviously like the leader of this group. What's his technical term? Is he the captain?
Yeah, sergeant maybe.
Yeah, and like when this situation arises where they find all this money, he's definitely in like a moral dilemma. And like, not that they were ever considering this, but like him and Affleck couldn't switch roles in this movie and play the opposite characters.
No, absolutely not.
And I love Kyle Chandler in anything. He's so good.
I thought Damon just acted circles around everybody in this. He was so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best roles I've seen him in a long time.
Yeah, man, the Damon songs, like I'm back in on him. I really liked him in Oppenheimer too. And he's in the Odyssey coming out later this year.
He's back, baby.
He's back, man.
He's back.
It was kind of interesting to see like their press tour for this. So Netflix obviously was produced this and financed it. And I don't think they were necessarily complaining, but this is just kind of a state of streaming. They said that one of the requirements from Netflix to get this movie made was that at least 4 to 5 times throughout the film in dialogue, they needed the characters to restate key plot points because the majority of the viewer base for these movies is on their phone and not paying attention. So they need the plot casually rehashed through dialogue throughout the movie.
It's like all movies now. That's why, yeah.
Yes, if the audience is like, we're not stupid, the people making the film are like, kind of are.
Yeah, but
you might not be, but everybody else is.
Yeah. This plot though, I feel like was close to being too complicated, but never quite crossed the line.
It towed the line very, very well. I think some of the character dynamics got a little squirrely at times. Like there were times where I had no idea who was a good guy and who was a bad guy. Legitimately, I did not know who anybody was, and that got a little confusing.
And I go back to, this is just like a weakness of mine in general. This is why I feel like Game of Thrones would crush me if I ever went and watched it. I'm really bad with names.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're referencing like names of characters. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And this all started way back when in True Detective season 2. I think the name Velcoro kept being thrown about, and I was like, who the fuck is Velcoro? And then in the last episode, Nate Thurman goes, that's the city they're in, you dumbass. So I was getting so confused, like, who the fuck? I haven't seen this person all season. Nate's like, and you won't, because it's the town that they're in. So I just have a problem. And they would keep referencing like nicknames they had for people, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna need photos because I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, The Rip. I would highly recommend. Thought it was great.
Cycly, is this on your radar at all, or are you McConaughey, or
It
not
is.
McConaughey, Damon Affleck out? Okay, good.
No, I've never been. I've always liked them. I always feel like I like them more together. I feel like Damon brings Affleck up.
I totally agree. Yeah, Affleck can be a little bit pretentious on his own, but yeah, Damon, I feel like kind of gets him to, he like cuts through his bullshit and brings out the best Affleck.
I mean, like one of my, I have it on my top 100. I already talked about Dogma, the two of them together, and that really is, when they're together. I mean, Good Will Hunting, like, man, yeah. I'm always with them.
I liked him in Air recently. The Rip. I actually haven't seen anyone that didn't like this so far. I haven't
either.
My circle obviously is usually people with similar sensibilities of movies, but even like online, this seems to be getting pretty favorable reviews. All right, anything else?
You lift, bruh?
That bird saying, do you even lift, bruh? brings us to the last part of our show, our question and answer segment, where we pose a question and we leave it with you guys to close out our episode. Tonight's question is the recurring one we've had for about the past 2 years. What are the Bros' top 100 movies of all time? Go to broforsquad.com. You can find our running list there. We are getting serious tonight, boys. We enter the top 20 movies of all time. Before we get into that, though, Cycly, why don't you tell the people at home, if they're either new to the show or just need a bit of a refresher, what are these top 100 lists? Because they are not, like, we kind of said this earlier when we were talking about the Oscars, but our film sensibilities is not exactly pinky out sniffing red wine while we watch cinema.
Some of ours are red wine and pinkies out, but some of ours aren't. Banner, but it's okay because these are your specific list. This is your favorite movies ever, and no one needs to justify it but you. They could be your favorite movies. They could be movies that you watched at a formidable age. They could be movies that made you cry, laugh. It doesn't matter. You don't have to justify it. These are about you and only you. So these are the best 100 movies we've all seen.
And I highly encourage you at home to make your own list so that you can tell people to fuck off if they disagree with you.
It's a really fun and difficult exercise.
It is. But it really will take you down memory lane. All right, Ben, let's start with you. Your number 21 movie, when we last checked in with you, was Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. Cycly's was The Dark Knight, and mine was Superbad. So for you, what will be one ahead of all three of those movies at number 20 all time on your list?
John Wick.
Nice.
This movie has some of the best choreography in a action fight scene movie that I've ever seen. The story is interesting, but also just like, what? It started with his dog, but having basically an open assassin's ring in the middle of New York is just a crazy idea. Again, some of the best choreography that I've ever seen.
I don't know if this movie invented it, but it was the first time I've ever seen it, and that is Gun Fu.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking cool. Like, fighting the guy and grabbing their gun and like using it to shoot them or beat the shit out of them with it in effective ways.
I believe this was your number 32, 32nd top 100 movie. So
yeah,
making a double appearance here.
Which I'm glad. I really like all the John Wicks to varying degrees, but the OGs can't beat it. Especially before it got so bogged down in the lore of like the Continental.
Yeah.
Where they had to just keep expanding on that.
Which I love. I love all of that stuff.
I do too.
Same.
But you have to pay homage to what built that.
I gotta say, like, I remember the first time I watched it, everyone kept telling me how good it was. And I was like, dude, this is an action film. Like, I like Keanu Reeves as much as the next guy. And then I watched it and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I get it.
I get it.
Holy fucking shit. This is so good.
The dude just wanted to retire.
No, it's the dog. God.
And it was a beagle too.
Yeah, I know. I was like, kill everybody right now.
I do love like when the kid's dad learns what he did. He's like, oh fuck, it's gonna be a late night, boys. Might want to order a pizza. It's classic.
And honestly, it's a pretty good trail. I mean, like, I know we talk about like it doesn't have there's a little parts in the third one or something that like maybe go on too long, but like what a franchise that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it came in hard and fast for sure.
Was this kind of like the start of the Keanu-sance?
I think so. It was definitely part of the Keanu-sance for sure.
A key contributor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think people like saw the concept of it, like they said, and they're like, yeah, it's an action movie with Keanu Reeves. Like, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek fun, and people are like, no, dude, go watch it. It's just fun. Like, it's not even a joke.
Yeah.
Also, the way that he's written is just perfect for Keanu Reeves, like, delivery. Like, they're really not asking him to do too much, but they are asking him to Keanu it up, and he does.
He Keanu's the fuck out of it.
Yeah. It's a great one.
He's like, I can do that.
This is me. All right, Cycly, what is one ahead of The Dark Knight for you at number 20 all time on your list?
So, this movie has been put on the list by Banner and Nate Thurman, and it is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And as many of you who do continuously listen to this podcast, like I am a massive Harry Potter head, just like Banner and Thurman as well. But this movie, I think, is on all of our lists for a specific reason. This movie really was taken by Alfonso Cuarón and made not just like into a kid's transition from a book to a movie, like, okay, we're just going to make this family friendly. He really made this a film. And some of the Harry Potter films after struggled with that, and the Harry Potter films before with Chris Columbus was just trying to put like, too much like happiness on screen. He really made this feel real, and he made it feel real and like, hey, like this is existing in our world.
Mm-hmm.
I have always had a special place for Prisoner of Azkaban as a book in my heart.
Same.
And Banner, yeah, I think you and I have talked about this, and I'd love to hear your opinion. I actually don't like this movie in the sense there's a lot that I wish it had done for the book. And I'm really looking forward to the show on HBO to do some of the things that the movie did not do. But what the movie did do is I thought it brought a certain respect to the entire franchise. It brought a certain ability and awareness that like WB knew now they could take risks with the franchise that Chris Columbus was a little too safe for. I mean, Chris Columbus is good at what he does. I don't fault him. I still love Sorcerer's Stone. I still love Chamber of Secrets, but they are what they are, and they are very kid friendly.
I think Chris Columbus was what the franchise needed when he was part of it.
Absolutely.
And it split at the exact right time. Just like the books, this is a transition where you go from, oh, this is a cute kid's story, something's going to happen every year, to a larger overall story that gets pretty dark. And this is dipping our toe into that. And this movie, again, I don't think it does the book justice, but it definitely has the same effect on the movie franchise that the book has on the book franchise, which is what's important at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I think that's the biggest key, because like, if I want to get nerdy Harry Potter, I can go all in on like what this movie doesn't do. But you're exactly right. When this was a transition, you can argue that Harry Potter's story is really 3 through 7, right? Like in 1 and 2 is just set up into the world. It's acknowledging the background.
This is Hogwarts. Yeah.
Yeah. This is what this says. The story truly starts in 3. And again, Alfonso Cuarón, like, I remember, I don't think I appreciated it the first time I watched the movie. I think the first time I watched the movie, I was like, there's so much of the book that made it so good that they just left out. But like, as I've grown up, as I've rewatched these films, I'm like, I think Alfonso Cuarón like did things that, like, I don't know that the rest of the franchise gets to do what they do. I don't know that we even get Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson to stay if they didn't feel like they're being challenged as actors, right? Like if they're just being like, Alfonso Cuarón literally went to them and put them in a corner and was like, hey, what are you wanting out of this role? Like, what are you, like, this isn't just for this characters. And like Emma Watson was going to drop out. Like, I don't know. I mean, Banner, you probably know that. Like Emma Watson was never going to be full. She was always the one that was iffy. These were the kind of things that like changed, I think, a lot of interpretation of how the Harry Potter franchise was looked overall, especially from non-book readers. So yeah, for me, it was just like, even though it's not my favorite interpretation overall, it's just like this film did justice to Harry Potter. And like you said, the book itself, if you've ever, say what you will about J.K. Rowling right now, but at the time, she always said this was her favorite book because this was the book she wrote when, for the first time in her life, she had financial freedom, but wasn't famous yet and didn't have the pressure. Because the first 2 books, she was on like welfare. She was like barely surviving. And then, by the 4th and post books, she was just global phenomenon. So that's why another reason I think why Prisoner of Azkaban is so special to us Harry Potter fans. And I think just like Alfonso Cuarón, I really wish he had gotten to do more movies, because like he was able to like reach a different side of this, the film structure, all of that style, things that you and Nate have talked about. But it's easily the most rewatchable Harry Potter movie, probably outside of the very last one, just because that one's just like all action and pretty short. But yeah, I could go on for a while on Prisoner of Azkaban, but I just appreciate what Alfonso Cuarón did with it. He respected the book more than others.
Yeah, and I think sorry, real quick. I think one thing that they did really well with this movie is what they left out of the books was the right things. There was a lot of things that were left out of later books that shouldn't have been left out, in my opinion. And they did a really good job of cherry picking what was important and what wasn't.
Yeah, the thing I'm mad about is that they didn't reveal the Marauders' identities. Like, I wish they had said who the Marauders were. Like that, but that's like, that's just me being a nerd.
Exactly.
I would say I don't think another unless I'm like missing an obvious one, has ever had to navigate what Harry Potter did in the sense of the movie. There are, well, I guess 8 movies, right? Because they split the last book into 2, but there's 7 books. And as you make these films, even though they're all the same genre, the same characters, the same continuity, and the same through line, the like subject matter has to age in sort of like mirroring the kids. And like you said, that you're making kids movies for like the first 2 or 3, then you're making like probably teenage, a little bit on for the next couple, and then Deathly Hallows is like a borderline rated R. So it should have been, yeah. It's weird because it's the same franchise, but like I don't think anything else has ever had to deal with like the subject matter.
Grows up like that,
right? Growing up with the films. I can't think of another.
And Alfonso Cuarón took the risk. I don't think my final words on this will be, I don't, as much as I like Chris Columbus, love him alone, whatever. He was never going to like make Rupert Grint and Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson go through puberty. Like, I feel like he would have just made them still children. And he made them teenagers. He made them real. So yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, look at Alfonso Cuarón's filmography and like Jesus, the fact that he did a Harry Potter movie is like pretty cool because he did Gravity, Children of Men, and then Roma was actually the movie I was referencing earlier, the black and white film that either won or was nominated for Best Picture, and that's where I believe it's in Spanish.
I'm sad he didn't come back. He did not want to immediately follow it up. This is fact. Sure. Like, he did not want to go to Goblet of Fire, but after Goblet of Fire, he was willing to come back. But at that point, they had just done like, I think a 3 like they had done like a 3 movie commitment, and with David Yates. So like, I would have not had a problem with him coming back though.
Was Deathly Hallows always going to be a 2-parter, or was that a decision like closer to the pre-production process?
Closer to pre-production, but I said, I mean, Banner, you and I probably talked about this back.
Just look at the size.
There was no way they could.
Yeah.
Or at least if you wanted to do it right. Plus, why would they want to make less money? It doesn't really make sense.
That's more of the reason.
Let's make half as much money. Good idea, Tom.
All right, Lawrence, what's your number 20?
My number 20, right ahead of Superbad, is what I believe is the greatest date night movie of all time. And I think you'll know why. And that is Jerry Maguire. Basically, talk about something that the girls get out of it and the guys get a lot out of it. That's Jerry Maguire. I also think it's probably, if you just go straight sports movie, it's probably my second favorite sports movie of all time behind Miracle.
Wow.
Incredibly quotable, unbelievable performances. I mean, has Tom Cruise, this is the last time maybe I'm missing an obvious one, but this is the last time he played an accessible character, I think. I don't consider Ethan Hunt very accessible, and obviously all the sci-fi stuff that he does, like, that's not someone you can really relate to. Jerry Maguire is like a guy, I mean, he's a sports agent, but like, he's dealing with shit. He's a regular dude dealing with relationships and balancing his career when it flounders. And I mean, Tom Cruise in that role thrives, and he hasn't done it since. And this is probably the best he'd ever done it. This is the first time I ever saw Renee Zellweger and Cuba Gooding Jr. in anything. I know Cuba Gooding Jr. was in a couple things before this, but this is the first time I was introduced to him. And I don't think I have before or really ever since seen a movie that focuses on a sports agent more than the sport itself, which I, at the time, was like, this is so fucking cool. Like I wanted to be a sports agent after I saw Jerry Maguire. And it does everything. It has one of probably the top. Would you say You Complete Me as like a top 3 iconic movie line of all time?
It's up there.
It's got to be up there. Show Me the Money, got to be up there too.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, people quote this stuff. You Complete Me, people quote this and they don't even know what the fuck it's from.
It probably has 3 to 4 in the top 25, which is an incredible percentage.
Yeah. The quote that I started the show off with from the top from Bob Sugar, people don't really talk about it much, but it's my favorite quote from the movie where he goes, "It's not show friends, it's show business. Don't be so fucking selfish, Jerry. I had to fire my fucking idol. Don't just think about yourself." It's like, what? I'm the one fired, though. Jerry Maguire. What are your guys' thoughts on Jerry Maguire?
It's been a while, but I loved it. I mean, like, you're right. Absolutely quotable.
And date night. I mean, chicks get if they want like the romance, because Dorothy Boyd I actually think is a really good, like, strong female character, and Bonnie Hunt is great in it as her sister.
Love Bonnie Hunt.
And then you get the sports stuff for the guys, and the romance is like very unconventional, which I think makes it work so well. It's not like guy falls in love with girl and girl is just lost without guy. It's like, I don't know, I guess I don't want to spoil it if no one's seen it, but the ups and downs of their relationship is not only very realistic, but something you don't typically see in movies that have romantic subplots.
I just don't. It's these kind of movies, when I think about the late 90s, like obviously Tom Cruise was probably in the middle of his, I mean, I don't know if he had too much of a dip, but like he was just maybe the biggest star on earth right at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But how did Cuba Gooding Jr. just fumble? Like the late 90s was his era. And then if you had told me, like I would, if I had to predict like an actor that would have just been huge post 2000, and man, how were we so wrong? What the Cuba Gooding Jr. thing should be face. Yeah, that should be studied. I don't know what happened there.
I mean, I'm trying to see, like,
he was great in O.J. Simpson, that happened a couple 10 years ago or whatever, but like, man, he was on fire in the mid 90s.
The problem was, here's the 3 of the 4 movies he did, and the only reason, I'll just read the next 3 movies he did. Murder of Crows with Tom Berenger in 98. Men of Honor in 2000, which I actually like, but I know people weren't huge fans of it. And then this is where he made the mistake. He chased the paycheck and did, in 2002, he did both Snow Dogs and Boat Trip, which...
yeah.
Boat Trip has not aged well in terms of the subject matter. They basically just make fun of gay people for an hour and a half.
Yeah, but like he also did As Good as It Gets. Like, you said, I mean, Pearl Harbor was supposed to be better than it was. Let's be honest.
That's true.
Yeah. Like you said, Men of Honor. Like, I don't know. There was something that feels like that happened. Rat Race was funny.
Radio in 2003, which was...
Yeah, like, but you're right. Like, what happened there with the like Snow Dogs, and I don't know. That's so bizarre. But yeah, that could be a whole conversation on its own on what happened with Cuba. He had a little bit of a renaissance. We've talked about renaissances on the pod when the O.J. Simpson show came out on FX, but it didn't seem like it lasted.
I think we've done like 2 of these where we call them brothologies, where we just go through like an actor's career. I know we've done Mark Wahlberg, but his would be an interesting one to do for a chest day.
That would be a fun one.
It would be.
Just like we always look at it from the lens of like, where did their agent really fuck up? Like, where did they start to make the big mistakes? And I think now he's kind of made fun of himself. Like, yeah, I really had an opportunity. Like Cycly said, I was like on top of the world. But it's tough, man. The 90s ate a lot of people's careers alive.
That's true. Mine especially. Could have been big. Could have been somebody.
I know. You just could not freak out at the craft services table when they didn't have Dijon mustard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a man of taste.
Here we go. See, you don't even
problem.
It doesn't even seem like you have any regrets when you respond like that. Like you've learned nothing.
Yeah, I don't. I am a man of principle, and I will stand by that. I will give up millions.
You've heard of doubling down? Cycly's tripled down.
Jeez. Triple dog there.
All right, guys, before we let the people go for episode 258, any closing thoughts, words of wisdom? Banner, let's go to you first.
Just, again, always, as always, make sure you pull over for emergency vehicles, guys. We just most of the country just got hit with the storm. You never know who's out there, who's stuck. Let's just take it easy, be careful, and just get the fuck out of the way, Kathy. All right?
Kathy, with a K, right?
Obviously.
Yeah. I feel like there's 96 different ways to spell Kathy. Cycly, how about you? Any advice? Is yours going to be your standard auto advice? Or
no, it's 2026. It's a new year. Prioritize yourself. You see an ambulance coming behind you, don't pull over for that. You're more important. Person in there could be a dick, could be a douchebag, could be fucking Hitler. Like, don't get in their way. Like, keep going. Just do you take care of number one.
In fact, pop in some headphones so that annoying ass siren isn't bothering you.
They're not above the law. Screw them.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long year.
God, what are our listeners going to do now getting counter? I guess they're just going to have to choose who they trust more.
Pick who do they like more. Comment below who you like more.
Horns is going to be like, let's just drive in the medium. Like if you want to get out of the way, get out of the way.
Should I post a Twitter poll on our account that will raise so many questions? Should you pull over for emergency vehicles? Yes or no? I was like, what?
The beautiful thing about Twitter is like, no might win.
Easily. God, it's such a fucking
people
cesspool.
suck.
I logged back on to check my school district to see if like they had announced their closing. And in just 30 seconds, I was like, I cannot handle this app ever. So if you follow us on Twitter and you've messaged us or anything, I have not checked it in probably a year, but we will use it for the Broskers polls coming up soon. So don't unfollow us. My advice, what will I say? Let's bring back DVR. Like the box.
Yeah, it's got a clock on it. I'm down.
That's sick. Yeah, we need more clocks. Bring it back. Especially now that, as we mentioned, with the streaming wars have gotten out of... I mean, it's like they're like the Clone Wars, where it's like there's so many battles on so many different planets happening. We don't even know who's winning. That's kind of how I feel about cable. Cable, now is the time to come back, man. If you can find some different avenue, having a cool-ass box with a clock on it, that's your strategy. That's your pitch. You're welcome, Cox and Spectrum and probably one other one. All right, for legal counsel, Ronnie Cycly, mad scientist Brian Banner, I'm the mayor, Jeff Hornacek. We are the Broforce Squad podcast. Follow us pretty much any social at Broforce Squad. Probably don't check it very often, but check us out anyway. Type in Broforce Squad as 3 separate words on Letterboxd, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and especially YouTube. And check out everything we have ever posted, our squad blog and our top 100 list on our website, broforcesquad.com. Till next time, I'm going to start scouting skyscrapers that I could possibly climb. What's a good height to start with? Like 10 stories?
3 feet.
Like climb a doghouse. I was kind of expecting him to go barefoot at one point.
I think it would. I was surprised that it wasn't too hot, right?
Yeah.
Baking in the sun like that.